All right. 3, 2, 1. All right, and welcome to this edition of the Weekly BS Podcast. My name is Blake Mitchmore. You've seen my work on BS with CSR or on CSRWrestling.com. Now on BS with CSR, with me as always is Shane Shoemaker. Shane, what's happening?
I'm literally trying to catch up on all that you've been writing this week. You have been writing like a freak show, dude. You've been making the site run like crazy. So I'm trying to catch up on all your stuff. So
I mean, you know, I didn't write for like 3 months basically, so I feel like I got to catch up.
Yeah, it was impressive. I liked it. So
I mean, right out of the gate this week, there's one thing that everybody's talking about, the thing that's making the most headlines, and it's not the Universal title. We'll talk about that here in a minute. It's freaking Daniel Bryan and The Miz on Talking Smack. I mean, that was awesome. I mean, I know that's The Miz's catchphrase, but simply put, that was badass. I mean, it was tense. It was uncomfortable. And The Miz, I mean, if it were me, The Miz needs to be pushed hard after that. I might put the WWE Championship back on The Miz. That's how much I like The Miz.
Whoa, wow.
Plus, I mean, let's just be real. I'd do anything that Maurice wanted me to.
I knew you were gonna say something about that, of course, as well you should. But dude, you know, I've liked this new Miz ever since he, of course, again, he got Maurice back, but ever since this new Intercontinental title, Miz has come back.
I'm probably like you as the Intercontinental Champion if you had Maurice.
Well, you know, hey, you know, she does wonders for somebody, you know, so, but the dude is absolute money right now. I mean, I think he has been for a while. He's always been money on the mic. He's always been. And to me, this guy has a place in WWE for a lifetime. I mean, he will never not have a job there. And, you know, that promo he cut, of course, I still have not watched Talking Smack yet. I watched that just from, like, the tweet that came out about it. And I couldn't believe it. And where it really got real for, you know, I guess the shoot part of it, I guess, or, you know, was when Daniel Bryan said, you know, when they won't let me come back to work. They won't let me. I was like, that was pretty intense. And then, you know, he kept getting in his face. So, incredible work by The Miz. Absolutely.
I mean, I honestly, I thought it was incredible by both guys because I think my take on it was Vince probably knew.
Mm-hmm.
Whoever the head producer of SmackDown is right now, in the past that we'd heard that Road Dogg was running SmackDown, so maybe him and Daniel Bryan and Miz knew, and that's it. I don't think Renee Young knew a damn thing.
Oh, probably for the best. Yeah, I mean,
right? No, I mean that makes it seem a lot more real, but. And I think it was kind of, to me, I think it was kind of one of those where I think they all sat in a room and Daniel's like, well, all right, well, I'm going to say you wrestle like a bitch, basically, or wrestle like a coward. And Miz is like, all right, well, I'm just going to go off. And I would be shocked to hear that was, I bet that wasn't scripted. I bet that was, we're going to go out there and fight.
Yeah.
And I bet when Daniel walked off because he was legitimately pissed off.
Yeah, because, I mean, if not, he played it off really, really well. I think what was most impressive about this to me was, and, you know, you said you've watched Talking Smack, you know, for the last couple of weeks. You didn't watch that one all the way through.
This is the only episode I haven't watched all the way through. The other ones I've watched completely.
Yeah. Well, you know, this makes me want to start watching, which is what they obviously have intended for people to do now because of this, you know, amazing segment. This is SmackDown's third hour. This is exactly what this is. And this is basically what Raw should have been doing a long time ago. Granted, I don't know if they could do that on USA Network. This is a WWE Network exclusive. But this is SmackDown's third hour. And this just proves how good SmackDown is overall to me right now. I mean, they're nailing it. So.
We're going to talk about SmackDown here in a minute, but I agree with you. I mean, it's by far the best show. But what I want to talk about right now is something that I just found just before we went on the air here. Now there's articles, and granted, you got to take everything with a grain of salt. You don't know for sure if it's real or not. It did come from Forbes, which is a pretty legitimate publication, not so much in the wrestling world, but still legitimate. It's not like it came from, like, I don't know, F4W Wrestling for Life online or whatever some of these dirt sheet websites are, but now there's speculation that this is just part of a big angle. and it could ultimately lead to Daniel coming back, because supposedly it's not for sure, it's not for certain, but the WWE is not 100% closed off on Daniel working again. And to me, he's never going to work a full schedule again. But what I could see is, if this is true, is, and in this article that I just read speculated this, wrestler after wrestler after wrestler calls Daniel out for, and then eventually whoever they decide, whether it's The Miz, whether it's AJ Styles, one of these guys, Daniel finally has enough. Probably, if it was going to happen, it would be at WrestleMania 33, I would guess, or WrestleMania 34, however long it lasted. And he wrestles one final match to go out on his own terms. That's the only way I could see this being a possibility, is if it's just to get Daniel his one last match to go out on his own terms.
Yeah.
There's no way in hell he's ever coming back to a full-time schedule. It's just not happening.
No, and obviously, one, you want to get him, I guess, that perfect opponent. I don't know if The Miz is. I think The Miz actually is a good choice because of the history between them. But what's amazing to me about this whole thing is, to me, Daniel Bryan was almost just like the precedent for this thing they're doing with the concussion protocol now.
Right.
And they're in a huge lawsuit with however many, former talents now. They've outlawed the curb stomp, even though we all know it's not a dangerous move, but it's the perception of that move. So, and we're going to talk about this later too, but even the, Brock Lesnar using his elbow to open up Randy Orton, but you can't chair shot anybody in the head anymore. So it's it's almost like WWE would be hypocritical. I mean, not that they kind of aren't sometimes anyway, but, in this case, if, they let Daniel Bryan come back after they were adamantly about not having him wrestle anymore. So that's what would be interesting.
I agree with that. There is a certain level of being a hypocrite there, but I don't know that it's because it's a little different case than some of these, because we heard in the lead up until when he retired that Daniel had been completely cleared by 2, 3, 4 doctors. And then he went to this one and found the lesion or whatever the hell. And that's what, so, I mean, there's evidence a little more, but I will say this, I doubt that this is really going on. One, if it is true and it's a possibility, it won't happen until this concussion lawsuit is cleared.
Oh yeah, that'd be huge.
But I seriously doubt this. But I mean, if that's where this, I will say this: we bitch and bitch and bitch and bitch and bitch about storytelling in WWE right now. They don't do it. If this is if that angle on Talking Smack Tuesday night started that, and it lasts for WrestleMania 33, WrestleMania 34, SummerSlam next year, whatever it is. That's a hell of a long-term story to tell. Oh
yeah, I mean, it'd be a great story. I guess my question is, I mean, what is the perfect opponent if this were to happen? That's my next question. To me, I know he said he wanted to wrestle Brock.
No,
you don't put Brock against this guy. I mean, I know people that say Brock can be safe, but he would. I mean, I would be.
You can't put Brock on him because Brock's game is dropping people on their head with suplexes.
Exactly.
I mean. Daniel you can't take the risk of, and that whole match would be centered around Brock suplexing Daniel 37 times and then Daniel freaking winning in the end. Yeah. Well, what if on suplex 35 Daniel doesn't tuck his head enough and then gets hurt? You can't do that. To me, the perfect opponent would be, I mean, right now the one in my head would be, a healthy Finn kind of passing the torch as the new it guy in WWE or something like that.
Cool. That'd be cool. Of course, I've almost thought about, what about some of these cruiserweights, that he's calling matches for, and I don't know if that's a money match
that he's screaming for.
Yeah, which by the way, off topic here, just I did notice that watching, a couple of the ones I was behind. Yes, he does kind of over exaggerate.
I mean, it is off topic, but that's his commentary style. It's oh my god.
Yeah, it's a bit ridiculous. I will just say,
yeah, he ruins the CWC for me, but. Anyway, so let's get off Daniel Bryan. Obviously, we had SummerSlam this weekend. Very controversial show. Many people hated it. I will say, I didn't think it was that bad. I thought just like WrestleMania, it was insanely way too long. Yeah. I don't know why the hell. And, here in a minute, we're going to talk about Backlash. I've got an idea for Backlash that I think WWE needs to follow on these brand exclusive pay-per-views and get the hell away from these. It's just that, dude. I mean,
4 hours is way too long.
It's too much. It's way too much. I don't give a damn how good the wrestling is, how good the story is. It ain't going to be that good where I want to sit there and watch for 4.5 hours.
No.
But overall, I mean, I didn't think SummerSlam was that bad. The Charlotte Sasha match was good. It was sloppier than hell. Sasha's going to wind up paralyzed before she's 30.
That match had the biggest ups and downs we've ever seen. 1 minute, like they were like just clicking. The next minute, they were all over the place. It was an odd match. It was really odd. So
I think Sasha's gonna wind up in a wheelchair before.
I'm starting to worry about that myself. She takes a lot of risky bumps.
Yeah, she drops herself on her head all the time.
Yeah, there's no wonder. I mean, I heard a while back they were afraid of her being injured prone. Well, there's no wonder. She's out there killing herself.
Honestly, I mean, I'll be real. I think that the Universal belt is stupid. I think the fact that they're going to this, like, all the belts look the same crap is dumb, but I don't care that much. I'm not losing sleep over it like some people are.
Well, I didn't hate it like Brooklyn did. I don't like it, but I would have not chanted for a belt in a match with those two were going on.
Right now, as much as I know you hate Matt Hardy's the most over person in wrestling right now.
Yeah, he really is.
On SummerSlam and Monday Night Raw, we got a delete chant.
Yeah, he really is, and I never thought we would ever be uttering those words ever. Like ever.
Matt Hardy is more over than just about anybody in wrestling right now because he wrestles for TNA where 400,000 people watch it tonight, but on WWE where 3 million people watch it, they're chanting delete for him.
Is this the most over TNA's ever been? Then is that what you're saying? So
I mean, to me, yeah,
probably so.
Yeah. There's honestly not a lot stood out to me. Obviously, we'll talk about the main event here in a second. Stood out to me the John Cena AJ Styles match was awesome.
Yeah, that was worth the prize of admission.
That was probably by far the highlight of the night as far as just pure like wrestling or entertainment. Now the main event was a highlight for shock and awe, but other than that, I'm not gonna lie, the second biggest highlight of the night to me might have been Nikki Bella coming back.
Oh wow, that's bad. Well, I've got to ask you something real quick about Styles and Cena. How big is that win for Styles? How big do you rank that? To me, we know it's big, but especially to go over clean like you did.
In terms of what? In terms of his career? In terms of what he means in WWE?
Kind of a little bit of all inclusive.
That's the biggest win of his career. He had a clean win in the WWE's second biggest event of the year against their biggest star.
Yeah.
It's bigger than anything he ever did in New Japan. It's by far bigger than anything he ever did in TNA. It's the biggest win of his career. And it put not only – you saw what it does. I mean, it puts AJ – AJ is now, and to me at least, in my opinion, because what they did, you could put AJ up against anybody in WWE, main event him on any show, including next year's WrestleMania if you wanted to, and he is a draw.
Yeah.
AJ's made in WWE now.
Yeah, he can seem like a legitimate threat to anybody to challenge for any title or any feud, anything. Yeah, I totally agree. I don't know where they're going with this with Backlash or how long that lasts, but there's been rumors of him getting the title. For I expect it. We're gonna talk about SmackDown here in a minute, but I expect him to win the title. Yeah. I don't think they're getting. We'll get into that, but like I said, I would love to see him win that title, just to see everything of his career come to like that. It would just be amazing. So,
the only thing I'll say that I completely disagreed with on SummerSlam is the fact that Chris Jericho and Kevin Owens beat Enzo and Cass,
which I told you was going to happen. I called that.
I don't understand them. I don't understand the motivation behind that because now and I know things change obviously, but especially now with the Finn Balor injury, Cass and Enzo aren't even getting that win back.
Yeah, I mean, one of the reasons why I kind of saw it happening anyway is just because usually when like they get like in hometown crowds like that, they lose. They always lose. I mean, look what happened to JR. JR got the crap beat out of him every time.
But they do that, you know. I'm not in JR's case, but in wrestlers they do that, but they ultimately get it back. You know.
Yeah.
Now because of the change, they're not even going to get it back. So it's like, I mean, Cass is fighting for the damn Universal title Monday,
which was a nice little surprise, I guess. But I could see them feuding again, honestly, just because like the change in plans. I mean, just because you don't know what's going to happen now with Finn being injured. So.
Yeah. All right. The main event. I don't get where the outrage is coming. People just don't like Brock Lesnar now all of a sudden. I liked it. I mean, I thought the match was good. I thought I even liked the ending. I mean, because it was different. I mean, you didn't expect that. And I like, you know, I'm a fan of, you know, like in movies, I'm a fan of movies that end bad because you don't ever see that.
Yeah.
You don't ever, you know, it always gets wrapped up in a bow. It always gets wrapped up in a happy ending. So stuff like that in a wrestling world where they just stop the fight because, oh my God, Randy Orton's bleeding like a stuck pig. That's great to me. I mean, I liked it.
It wasn't that it ended like, you know, with the bad guy coming out on top. I mean, I even liked the TKO aspect. Again, it felt odd. I guess it felt like it wasn't. I don't know.
That's what it was supposed to feel.
I guess I don't know if it was a timing thing. I don't know what it was, but I mean, I just felt like there was something else that should have happened or could have happened. I don't know what, but I mean, it just felt different. I mean, I guess like I said, that's a good thing, but and plus, you know, like we mentioned, it was odd seeing Brock deliver the elbow there when, you know, again, you can't even deliver a chair shot anymore, you know, and you know, I just thought, I mean, it's crazy that was planned. You know, I can't believe that spot was actually planned where you put, like, you know, someone's health that much risk, I guess. So I don't hate Brock. I think that the Brock act to me is becoming almost a little tiresome just because I don't know what else you can do with him. I mean, are we really ready for Shane McMahon and Brock Lesnar? I mean, he'll do something stupid, but, you know.
Well, and that's my thing. You know, I'm kind of torn on that, honestly. There's part of me that says absolutely, because when I think of Brock Lesnar versus Shane McMahon, I think of Shane McMahon versus Kurt Angle in the 2001 King of the Ring.
Yeah.
But then I go back and think, well, WWE's not going to let them have that kind of match again.
No.
If they would pull the reins back and let them go crazy, I'd be all over it, because Shane's a jackass and Shane will do whatever the hell.
Oh, yeah, he will. I mean,
put it in the Hell in a Cell. Shane will let Brock F5 him off the Hell in a Cell.
That's true, but, you know, I'm like you, though. I'm like, how far will they really go now? I mean, and plus.
Right, and that's the problem.
And not only that, but Dean Ambrose even mentioned that. He said, you know, Brock had gotten lazy and he wanted to do all kinds of crazy stuff in his match with Brock at WrestleMania, and Brock didn't want to do it. So, I mean, I don't know. Brock, to me, is running out of opponents that's like, you know, money drawing at all. I mean, I don't know really a lot what's left for him. So
Goldberg.
Oh my, no, I do not.
Goldberg.
If that was the only thing that would have made SummerSlam worse is if Goldberg would have came out there.
Goldberg.
I don't know why. I don't know why you're on that train. Why you're on that?
I hate it. I would hate it.
Okay. That's horrible. I mean, I don't want to see a 50-plus-year-old Goldberg.
I do think it's going to happen, though.
Well, that's going to get booed out of the building again. I don't know who wants to see that. You know?
Goldberg. All right. So let's talk about NXT TakeOver for a minute. I mean, it's always entertaining, but this wasn't one of the best NXT TakeOvers by any means. I will say that Ember Moon chick's got a hell of a finisher.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, you know, after we've seen Austin, you know, with his stunner, and then we've seen Cena with his springboard stunner, I was like,
it makes them both look like crap.
Man, does it? Yeah. I mean, I didn't see that coming in. I mean, especially, I was kind of surprised they even let anyone else do a stunner now, you know, just because it's been seen.
I mean, I think when you come with that, though, it's like, sure.
Yeah, for real. I mean, that was crazy impressive.
Right.
Probably the move of the night. So,
what do you think about the Bayley Asuka match? I mean,
I thought it was good. You know, again, what Bailey and Sasha did last year, though, I mean, to me, like I
never
mentioned
gonna be topped.
No, that was match of the year, and I know they kept kind of saying they wanted to have that good match again. And I love Asuka's work. I think she's good, and of course Bailey's over like crazy.
I find Asuka oddly attractive.
I don't think she's hideous.
There's something about her. I mean, she's not like, oh my God, like Maurice or anything, but there's something about her that when she walks the ring, I'm like, I kind of think you're hot.
Yeah, she's got that look, I guess. I mean, it
might be that I'm a little bit afraid of her. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. I mean, you like the crazy chicks from time to time. It's cool.
Like crazy.
It's cool. Hey, we all like some crazy chicks from now and then.
I seem to only like crazy ones, but that's another story for another day. I mean, dude, the highlight of the entire day not the main event was too, but by far the coolest moment was freaking Bobby Roode.
By far.
Oh my God, it was so awesome. I mean, as soon as that song plays, the damn crowd starts singing every word of it. And you could tell, the best part to me was you could tell how much fun Bobby was having.
Oh, yeah.
Son of a bitch, man. I haven't even been here more than 5 minutes. And I'm already over.
Well, I even tweeted out hours before that show. I was like, the best part of NXT TakeOver is probably going to be hearing the crowd sing that song along with Bobby Roode, because it is glorious. It lives up to its name. It's every bit of glory. I mean, and that entrance, I mean, first of all, I've never saw anyone. I mean, I saw Michaels where he came down at 25 and did a similar entrance, but then to like point to the screen afterwards, that was awesome. I mean, this guy is money.
Is there any question? Yeah, is there any question that A, he's already a star in WWE, and B, he ain't gonna be in NXT very long?
I wouldn't think so. I mean, if I'm not mistaken, he's 39 years old. I'm pretty sure.
Well, I don't think it's because his age. I just think it's because he's already. I would be. You'll never hear this from people in WWE, but I can't imagine they thought Bobby's going to come in and get this kind of reaction and be this over.
Yeah, well, obviously the music is a huge help, but
it's the best. I mean, him and Nakamura are a close 1-2 for best theme song.
Oh yeah, but what's crazy, there's always been said that Bobby Roode is a WWE guy. He's been called a WWE guy for years. I mean, he's got every bit of the look to him. He's classic looking. He's a good enough size. And yeah, I'm like you. If this guy doesn't get called up, I mean, I just can't imagine him being there too long. I mean, I could be wrong, but
my guess is he'll be there through. He would seem prime for me for a Raw after WrestleMania call up.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's so awesome. I've watched it like 3 times just his entrance because it's so awesome.
It's the entrance of the year for sure, I think. So
as soon as that hits, you hear the crowd start singing, and they sang a whole way through, and then they're chanting, "This is glorious," and he just looks at the camera. He's like,
"Yeah." I was about to say that look he gave was priceless. That even made it right there. Yeah.
And then, I mean. I'm torn, honestly. Okay, I'll ask you. Was his entrance better than Nakamura's?
Bobby Roode's?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, and again, I love Nakamura's. Nakamura's is, I mean.
I don't know, man. I'm torn because that live violin player, that made Nakamura so badass to me, but.
I've got to go, I guess, because I've really just seen Roode's for the first time, and then how he came down. That's to me. I'm going
a little more into Roode's, but the same thing goes. I mean, there's no words to Nakamura's song, but they're freaking humming the damn song the whole time.
Well, that and
which makes it so awesome.
Yeah, and I will say this: all Bobby Roode had to do was just sit there and let something take him down, and then point to the screen and walk. Nakamura's all action. He's all action everywhere. I mean, he makes you want to dance or do whatever that thing is he does. So I can see why you would be torn on that. But for me, I've got to go with Roode.
And then that match between us two was awesome.
Oh, yeah, awesome. Yeah. Again, I'm not mad that Nakamura won. I'm not even mad that it seemed obvious. It was just like, that's kind of how takeover shows are. They're pretty. Yeah, they cater to the fans,
I think Joe's going. I mean, well, it sounds like Joe legitimately got his jaw busted by Nakamura on that knee.
Yeah.
But I think whenever he gets his jaw squared away, Joe's going up. I mean, there's not anything Joe could do. I mean, Joe was, I mean, what else is Joe going to do?
Yeah. Well, I already forgot he'd been there over a year now, I believe, or at least a year.
I think when Joe comes back from injury, he goes right. I mean, he might do what Sami Zayn did. Mm-hmm. He might go down in for like a month and have a couple of matches, and then he goes right back up.
Yeah.
But oh man, yeah, those that violin player was awesome. So let's move on to Raw. Raw sucks.
It's a chore. It's 3 hours is an absolute chore.
It sucks. I mean, it really does.
I will say though that the 3 hours again is what it's the killer of it. But the only reason why I think this episode was even somewhat entertaining is because of the chaos. I mean, we didn't know what was going to happen. Finn Balor, we heard, got injured. He had to relinquish the title. So I like the chaos of like having to make a new champion. So at least I was entertained. But they
messed up. Why did they not? You have 3 hours to fill. Have the couple. Have the whatever. There was how many guys? 6 guys. 8 guys.
8 guys. I guess.
Yeah. Have the 4 matches in the first hour.
Mm-hmm.
Have them come back in the main event and fight for the damn title.
I can see why they're next week. I can see why they're dragging it out though, because they want to have some people looking toward the next week. I'm not hating that. I mean, that would have made one really good Raw episode, but they're hoping to have people come in for next week. So I get why they did it. So I'm interested in the choices they all put in there, especially Big Cass. I mean, I know he's not going to win anything, but
who's winning? I'll tell you who I think's winning.
I think we're probably going to be agreeing here too. I think it's Roman Reigns.
Absolutely, it's Roman Reigns.
Yeah, and which is that they need a face again. They need a face because they don't have a face now. Well, I don't know if he's a for sure face, but
if you need a face, you got to put it on a Big Cass.
Yeah, that's true. I think it's Roman Reigns.
I think it absolutely is headed to Roman Reigns.
Yeah, which is just crazy.
I can't wait to watch Twitter after Roman Reigns wins Monday night.
Well, is there any other debate though? To me, it's either Rollins or Reigns. It's more likely I think Reigns, but I mean, there's no other way. I don't think Owens.
Yeah, I almost think it's Reigns or curveball like Owens.
Really, I would mark out if it was Owens. I think that's a huge moment. But
I'll tell you what I would do. I would fool everybody and throw it on Cass and see what happens.
Man, you talk about a huge shock. I mean, that'd be interesting.
Long term. Big Cass as a main event player with Enzo as his mouthpiece is money.
Oh, yeah. I mean, these guys are one of the most popular acts in the WWE right now anyways. So,
I don't think it's going to happen, but I wouldn't be opposed to it just as a curveball, just to see, even if it's just for like a month, to see what happens and like see if the fans will really get around him as the champ and then take it off of him. But it's probably going to go to Roman. Now, let's talk about the best show they have right now. Outside of Talking Smack. SmackDown, we had a lot went on SmackDown this week. I mean, AJ Styles is a new face that runs the place, apparently. New titles, which are really the same titles, just different color. Let me ask you that. What do you think about that? Because I see most people are like, oh, I don't care. I will say that design of tag titles without the damn copper looks a lot better.
Well, yeah, because the copper ones also look like pennies. So the silver with the blue straps looks great. Now I still don't like the design, like the actual the Spartan helmets. I don't like that design. I actually think the women's title looks good. I guess my biggest complaints are, we kind of discussed this earlier. I don't like how they're trying to make every belt the same now. It's almost like the UFC belts, but it doesn't look, it just looks awful. I mean, to me, you would want more people especially, buying those belts, little kids and all that stuff. And I hate that they're just called SmackDown Tag Team titles and SmackDown Women's. I wish it was at least something a little bit different. I mean, I know this is not the way to go, but I mean, back in the day, there used to be United States Tag Team titles. Call them that for here. I don't, just something that makes them different. I guess I don't know. It just seems
make the WCW marks happy.
Something. I don't care. Just I like to make them different. That's my biggest complaint, really.
I mean, I get that, but that's just not where they're going. I mean, what they're pushing Heath Slater, man.
How it's fantastic. I love it. I've never liked Heath Slater this much in my life ever.
We're sitting there for opening segment of the show, and Heath comes out and do you think there's a chance that Heath Slater and Rhino win the tag titles?
Well, in the whole storyline, if he wins it, like he's got himself a job, him and Rhino's got a job. So
Rhino's got a job. It's Heath that needs.
Well, I'm sorry, yeah, Heath, yeah. So I don't know. I can see them playing. Like, to me, this has been good, them dragging it out and seeing how he finally gets a contract. But I think it would be a cool move if they actually won it, especially if they put him up against American Alpha, who everybody thinks it's going to probably win anyways. So, yeah, put him in there and just let him win. I mean, granted, they may not have him long, but it would continue this storyline of Heath Slater. So, again, I love Heath Slater right now.
The highlight of SmackDown, I'm not going to lie, the highlight of SmackDown for me might have been Carmella's heel turn.
Really? Wow.
I'm not going to lie. I mean, because she was, and I even tweeted it when she came out. Obviously, I didn't know that was coming. Maybe kind of, she was getting not just a bad, she was getting zero reaction when she came out.
Oh, yeah.
The crowd could give a shit.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And then, I liked it because it wasn't just like, oh, I'm just the bad. I mean, it was vicious, a vicious heel turn.
Oh, yeah, and, I know you said you probably didn't see it, but they even continue that on Talking Smack. And she come back and beat the crap out of her on Talking Smack. I mean, so I don't hate it. She was – I think she played a heel for a little bit in NXT anyways, but –
I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't really remember. I don't know exactly where they might go with it, or if that's the thing. Who do you think is even going to be the women's champion?
My guess is Becky.
Probably so.
It will come back, and I'll tell you who she's going to feud with.
Who's that?
I'll read everything, baby. Which, by the way, we didn't mention this when we talked SummerSlam. I called it. Told you that's what they needed to happen, and it was absolutely perfect.
I'm just surprised they actually did it. That was the biggest thing.
I am too, but it was so perfect.
Yeah, it was. It was
me. I would do it every damn week until that girl came back. Yeah,
I would too. Like, they need to do some kind of updates or something about her, like she's still on vacation, or people talk to her.
They need to have I'm sure they've got stock bikini photos of her. Just put up bikini photos of it. Oh, and Miss Allred, everything is in Antigua this week, vacationing because she's still tired of the French.
And again, that all plays into the storylines we keep talking about on SmackDown. They're better. I mean,
and she's going. I mean, that's what I would do. I would give it to Becky, and then I would have Eva Marie come take it from Becky. And I would have Becky chase Eva Marie.
That'd be actually somewhat interesting to watch, not from a in-ring standpoint.
But you don't always, that's the thing, dude. And I know IWC, you got to have great. You don't always have to have great wrestling, dude. You can have great stories.
No, I agree. I mean, go back and watch any of the Attitude Era. Half the wrestling.
Everything has to be freaking Ring of Honor, man.
No, I'm totally agreeing with you. Again, go back and watch some of the Attitude Era. The in-ring stuff is not that great. The storylines are awesome, though.
Go watch, if you want to watch hardcore, like just straight up wrestling, go watch Ring of Honor. It's great.
Yeah, I totally agree.
And then, AJ, we touched on it a minute ago. AJ's headed for the world title. I think he deserves it. I think he needs to win it. Every week, I'm so impressed with what AJ does on the mic now compared to what he used to do in TNA. He's so much better.
Oh man, he was hard. What little I got to watch him towards some of the end there, he was brutal to listen to. I mean, it was, even seeing the stuff. I mean, this is even a little bit before he left. The stuff where he was with Flair, and just like, I always loved AJ because of what he did in the ring, but this guy's kind of on another level right now, and I'm standing by my statement that this guy is the MVP of WWE this year. I mean, from the moment he almost got there. So, yeah, each and every week he's awesome.
All right, this next subject kind of bothers me. I hate CM Punk. I think the guy's a dick. I thought he's a dick ever since he left the WWE. I got excited when they finally announced his first fight because I want to watch him get his ass kicked. And then I watched the evolution of Punk. And now, I hate the fact that I'm about to say this on the internet, but I actually kind of like this dude now. And I'm actually rooting for it.
What?
Because, I mean, you know, he in that first episode, if you watch the series, he talks about how he's just, you know, what his motivation is. And it's like, man, this guy's pretty cool. He's not this prick that he's acted like for so long. And then, you know, I mean, I don't know. Like, now I want him to win.
Well, again, they're not portraying him as a dick on the show. He's getting humbled. You know, you didn't see that in his WWE days. I mean,
No.
at all.
He's absolutely. I mean, granted, I would be too if I went in and tried to start training him. But he was absolutely horrible.
Oh yeah, dude. I mean, I know that was earlier in his training. I mean,
now I completely understand why it's taken over a year for him to even get ready for a fight, even without injuries. Because I mean, or close to 2 years. Because good God.
Well, you know, even I know if you know whoever watched, you know, if you watch the second episode, I mean, they said he looked better. And again, I don't know all the, you know, the ins and outs of MMA, what really looks. I mean, I can kind of tell, you know, just from, you know, the normal eye there. But I mean, like, I know it was early in his training, but he's going to get destroyed. I mean, I just don't see. I mean, Mickey Gall, I don't know a lot about him, but I know he's had already one fight under his belt, and he did win, if I'm correct, right? I mean, so, dude, I don't even know if I'm going to be able to get that fight, but I mean, he's going to get destroyed. So, I love the show though.
Yeah, man, AJ's hot.
Oh yeah. It's almost kind of the you know, worth it for the show just to see her.
Right.
Now his crazy looking friend with the tattoos all over his face. I don't know about him, but you
know, that's Lars from the band Rancid.
Yeah. I mean, I don't listen to Rancid, so I don't really get crap.
You should.
Well, I don't care about that crap music, but so are you pulling for Punk now? Is that what you're saying? So are like when UFC, when it comes up, are you pulling?
I don't know, honestly. I mean, I got 3 more weeks of this show. By the time the episode 5 comes around, yeah, I'm probably gonna be like, let's kick some ass. But
I mean, I didn't know if you're gonna be sitting right there in your apartment, like taped up wrist with X on your hands. I didn't know.
I think I'm going to Cleveland. I'm gonna go cage side.
Well, hey, you know, you're the Punk mark now.
I'm actually walking out with him.
Hey, you know, just get me a ticket. It's all I want. That's all I need.
No, I don't know that I would say I'm actually rooting for him yet. But like I said, it's gone from me being like, God, this guy's just an effing dick, to like, yeah, I mean, all right, he's not a bad guy. I mean, I'm kind of okay with Punk.
Yeah. I mean, we know he still is a dick, but like you said, we're seeing him humbled now, and it's like, hey, this guy's at least giving his all in this thing. I mean, you can tell he's actually doing his absolute best that he can to, you know, put all that he can in this. So, I mean, I'm like you. I mean, you know, he's still a dick, but I mean, I'll admit I'm cheering for him. So,
I don't know. Part of me still wants him to get his ass kicked.
Well, you just hope we're going to get it back. I mean, in wrestling, which I still don't think is going to happen. But
bull crap. I'll still fight that. I mean, whether he fights 5 fights in the UFC, he's still coming back to WWE one more time.
I tend to disagree, but I mean,
he's got too many of his butt buddies. He could come back at WrestleMania and have a match with Rollins, Owens, AJ, Finn, all these guys, all these indie guys that he loves so much.
Hey, I'm hoping it happens. I'm just saying, I just can't see him. I just can't see him doing that. Just everything he says.
Warrior ever coming back?
Well, he did, but it was pretty awful when he did come back. So
why? Because he died the next day.
Well, I was actually referring to the first time he came back, but but yeah, the last time, yeah. I mean, it was obviously, you know, that was a huge moment, but I don't know, man. I just can't see it. I mean, I hope it does happen.
It's gonna happen. All right. So if you ever followed us and ever listened to our show, BS is not, it's not just a clever title because that's what their names are. It is that. But we also like to talk about the BS of the week. And I'm sorry, I hate to do this, because I know The Rock's a big fan of ours. He watches our show all the time.
Yeah, all the time.
But if this story is true, it is by far maybe the biggest piece of BS we've ever had on the show.
Wow, we're going that far with it. Wow.
Yes, because a couple of weeks ago, there was, Rock and Vin Diesel having beef on the set of Fast and Furious 8. Now we hear that it might just all be an elaborate plan because you know what? They're going to fight at WrestleMania 33. Are you freaking shitting me?
You are fired up about this.
Rock and Vin Diesel, that douchebag from. Don't get me wrong, I watch Fast and Furious, but
I'll watch it till it's Fast and Furious 65 when they're on lawn.
Douchebag from Dominic Toretto from Fast and Furious. They're gonna have a match at WrestleMania.
You'll watch.
I will watch, and not only, and I wrote an article on our website about it today. Not only will I watch, and I will say this, even though I think it is absolutely ridiculous, it will make a shit ton of money.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
because The Rock, we found out today, The Rock is the highest paid actor in Hollywood.
Mm-hmm.
Vin Diesel's up there. Fast and the Furious, if you ever follow these movies, they make like $700 million every time they put one out. That's why they're on 8.
Yeah.
If they didn't make money, they wouldn't be on 8.
Mm-hmm.
So you have The Rock, biggest celebrity on the planet. Vin Diesel, who's probably a top 10. A movie that makes a buttload of money. That sells the WWE right there. That means mainstream media, more eyes, maybe more fans.
Mm-hmm.
Done. WWE's sold. The Rock gets paid from WWE. Vin Diesel is an executive producer of Fast and the Furious, so he gets back-end money. If they WWE promotes Fast and the Furious and maybe gets more money, more people to go see it, Vin Diesel makes more money.
Mm-hmm.
So WWE makes money, Rock makes money, the movie makes money, Vin Diesel makes money. Everybody wins.
Yeah.
Except the wrestling fans.
Who will crap all over this. I mean, The Rock, to me, like I wrote a while back, is the most likable person on this planet, I think. Like I don't think there's anybody on this planet, I mean, seriously, besides I don't know how you cannot like him just by following his social media, pages, because he's funny. I mean, he puts out darn good Under Armour products now. And he usually makes, for the most part, pretty entertaining shows and movies. I'm a huge fan of Ballers. I've watched all. He is indeed the franchise Viagra himself, Dwayne The Rock Johnson, because he made Fast and Furious great again, in my opinion. Like Fast 5 is probably my favorite one out of the series now.
My question is, what the hell does The Rock have on Vince McMahon?
What does he have on him? He has on that he's probably the best entertainer to ever come out of the WWE.
I'm not even so sure it's that. I think he's got like something like he's got dirt on Vince McMahon or something. Because if you look at this, I mean, it really sounds like Rock just calls Vince like, "Hey, I want," and tells him whatever the hell he wants to do. You look at after almost a decade, he comes back at WrestleMania 27, does the hosting gig, sets up a main event match with John Cena. The next year, he decides he wants to be the champion. So he's the champion. The next year, he has an in-ring promo with Hogan in Austin. The next year, he flies cross-country from doing Saturday Night Live the night before to do something with Ronda Rousey. Last year, he's like, hey, you know what? This year, I want to do this crazy-ass entrance with a flamethrower and a 30-foot sign with my name, the Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders. Then I want to have a 30-minute promo with Bray Wyatt. Then I want to have a 7-second match with Eric Rowan. Then I want Cena to come down. We're going to beat the shit out of people. He does whatever he wants.
Well, I think that
now he's going to have a match with Vin Diesel.
Well, the reason for that, I think, is because Vince knew that when he lost Rock years back. He knew there was still money left on the table for him and Rocky to do whatever, because The Rock was still probably the biggest star in the company, and he was healthy, and he could still do it, unlike Austin, who couldn't. And then when The Rock left for all those years and, kind of wanted to separate himself from the business, now Vince is like, hey, you're one of the biggest movie stars out there right now. do whatever you want. We'll make tons of money off of it. I mean,
let me ask you this: if The Rock said, "Hey Vince, I'm going to come down the middle of the ring and take a shit," is Vince going to let him?
Probably so, and it will be the best dump ever. I'm sure. I mean, it will be. I mean, people will probably worship it. I'm sure, including Vince McMahon himself. So, yes,
we can't be looking at The Rock versus Vin Diesel at WrestleMania 33.
I don't think that likely happens. There might be some kind of thing that happens, but for one, just go back and watch. I guess it's. I'm mixing them up now. I'm pretty sure it's Fast 5. Just for how they had to film that and seeing Rock go against Vin Diesel in that movie, Vin Diesel's actually not that big of a guy that people think he is. I mean, and plus The Rock is a massive human being.
I was going to say, I don't know that it's not that Vin Diesel's not that big of a guy. It's The Rock.
Yeah. So, I mean, once you actually put, Rock and Vin up side by side, it's going to be just – it might ruin Vin Diesel's whole image. So – I'm not sure he wants that. I mean, I'm not sure how much training's going to go into that, what kind of, and if for some reason Vin Diesel won the match, you talk about just a crap storm and the internet exploding.
Oh, I mean, that's why I would book it.
Now, I will ask this. Is this the one thing that can get The Rock booed again in WWE?
Is this the main event of WrestleMania 33?
There's no way. I know this is
The Rock versus Vin Diesel closes the show.
I know this is a media.
Well, hold on. Let me ask you this: if Vince Russo's booking, does The Rock versus Vin Diesel
show? Yes, and there's also a flaming cage around ringside as well. So yes,
I don't
absolutely.
think you'll see this, but sorry, Vince, if you watch this, it just popped into my head. So
he dogged you all the time, but anyways,
he does. He doesn't like me anymore anyway. I don't think so.
but no, there's no way. I mean. There's no way that becomes. I mean, Floyd and Big Show wasn't made. I know Big Show's not The Rock, but still, I just it's no.
I honestly don't think this is going to happen, or at least I hope not. But God, I mean, I say that, but like, if you really look at the dollars and cents of it, you can't rule it out because it would make a ton of money, and it would make WWE a ton of money.
Yeah. So is the rest of the Fast and Furious co-stars at ringside?
Absolutely. All in cars.
Oh, God. Well, depending on how they do the entrance, I mean, I've been to that stadium before when they were there at 24, so depending on how they do the stage, I mean, I'm sure they get all those cars in there if they wanted to, so, I mean.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome.
Oh, man. No. Well, my night's ruined now, so.
Yeah. What's really going to be great is the way the match is going to end is Paul Walker's going to come out and toss The Rock the match.
Swerve, the biggest swerve of all time. You went there. I wasn't going to go there. You went there.
Well, I really didn't say that.
You went there. I didn't go there. So
I just said Paul Walker's going to come back from the dead.
Hey, again, you went there, not me.
Hey,
that's all on you.
It would be a hell of a swerve if it happened.
Oh man! Now that was what would get them some mainstream
make
attention.
His comeback in Fast 9.
Hey, again, that's when WWE explodes again and mainstream attention galore. So,
can you imagine the headline? Vince McMahon got Paul Walker back from the dead.
Best promoter of all time. So.
He raises people from the dead.
Yeah, best promoter ever.
Well, I think one thing's official after this show. I'm probably going to hell. That comment. Now that I said it, I kind of feel a little bad. Not that much, but a little bit. It was joke humor. But I really just said Paul Walker.
You went there. That's all on you, bud. It's all on you. So.
Anything else, Shane? I just bring the show to a screeching halt.
Besides that, just again, I don't want to talk about it much, just because I've talked about it ad nauseum many times. Was sure enough, Bret Hart had something to say about Seth Rollins. So,
I hate to say, I told you, shut up and go away, Bret. Seriously.
I mean, that's how Bret's making his money now. Is doing all this stuff. He knows what he's got to know what he's doing. He's coming out and saying this crap, every week, or just like so and so did this and. I would like to ask Bret Hart without. I mean, granted, WWE hasn't been putting up great numbers the past year or so, but without Seth Rollins, they wouldn't have done a lot of things in the past year or two. I mean, they just wouldn't. I mean, Seth Rollins has been the guy for that company, in my opinion, besides Cena himself. So
Seth Rollins ain't that great.
That's debatable.
Give me Heath Slater.
Wow. You said Heath Slater's the main guy of the company now, and you talked distastefully about Paul Walker. So I'm done with this show.
I resurrected Paul Walker.
Well, I'm not sure how much longer I can be on this show. So.
Well, obviously, you're not a real Paul Walker fan.
So, his 4 movies that he made, mostly all was Fast and Furious.
He made more than 4 movies.
Well, that was watchable. That's
and he's about to come back from the dead and make more.
Well, hey, I'll watch him.
Oh, dude, he'd be the biggest. If my scenario happened, granted, I'm getting even more ridiculous here, but if my scenario happened, and this death of Paul Walker was just a stunt, and Paul Walker comes back from the dead, think about he'd be the world's biggest. He'd replace The Rock as the world's biggest movie star.
Oh yeah, he would get paid. Yeah, he would already outshine The Rock and payment for Hollywood and everything. I mean, he would. I don't know how we're even talking about this, but it would be unreal. It would be unreal. It'd be, and I would watch every second of it. So,
yeah, you would, because that's who you are.
Yeah.
What do we got? I mean, we got week 3 of the NFL, which is great.
I for one hate preseason just because it's a tease, but I'm just ready for the season. I know college starts next week, which I'm pumped for. So
your Miami Hurricanes are going to suck.
Well, that's without question. So
are the Falcons going to suck again this year?
At best, I'm going 8-8. So we'll see how it goes. And most of my teams usually suck. My Braves are terrible. My Falcons are terrible.
Your Braves are like the worst team in baseball.
I don't even know who they were. I mean, we probably still are, but I mean, baseball's been horrible to me this year, so I just don't even keep up with it.
Yeah, you need to get some new teams.
That's probably true. So.
Yeah. All right. I guess that's it for this week. I mean, I don't know where I can go after resurrecting Paul Walker, honestly.
There's nowhere else we can go after that. So.
It's been a monumental show. I resurrected Paul Walker tonight.
You did indeed.
It's coming. WrestleMania 33. I'm telling you fans out there, if The Rock versus Vin Diesel happens, gets booked, that's the ending.
Book it now.
Paul Walker comes out and costs The Rock the match and lets Vin Diesel win.
I'm speechless.
Paul Walker gives The Rock a rock bottom to let Vin Diesel win the match.
Again, I'm speechless. I don't know what else how much more I can contribute to this. There's nothing more for me to do. So
I mean, there's not really much you can say. All right, I'm done digging this grave even further, or digging it up, I guess.
I was going to say digging it up, yeah.
I'm done making myself look like more of an a-hole than I've already done. It's hard to make. I mean, I just pissed all over a dead person for 10 minutes. I'm done. So that's it for this week. Make sure you're checking out our writing. bswithcsr.com is the website. Might soon be changing. Keep a lookout for that. Follow Shane at @Shoemaker24. Follow me at Blake Mitchmore. I might start a new Twitter, the resurrection of Paul at the resurrection of Paul Walker soon.
That's your next blog, actually. That's what it's gonna be.
That's what we're changing our website now. resurrectpaulwalker.com. Okay, that's it. We'll talk to you next week.